Imagine a human being so famous that he couldn't walk into a grocery store without the National Guard being called. A man whose face was the most recognized on the planet, yet he spent his life trying to change it. We know the moonwalk. We know the glove. We know the 750 million records sold. But behind the king of pop was a man who was never allowed to be a boy. A man who was trapped in a golden cage of his own making. Before the scandals, before the wacko jacko headlines, and before the world lost him, there was a terrified kid from Gary, Indiana, who was told he'd never be good enough. This isn't just a story about music. This is a story about the cost of being a god among men. While other kids were playing tag, Michael was in a windowless studio for 10 hours a day. His father, Joe Jackson, didn't just manage a band, il ran a factory. Perfection wasn't a goal, it was the only way to avoid punishment. Michael later admitted he would physically shake with fear when his father entered the room. That fear became his fuel. By age 11, he was a superstar. But the boy who had everything on stage had nothing off of it. In 1982, Michael decided to do something no one had ever done. He didn't want a hit album, he wanted the only album. Thriller didn't just break records, it broke the world. He became a global phenomenon that crossed every racial and cultural barrier. For a moment in time, the entire planet agreed on one thing: Michael Jackson was the greatest entertainer to ever live. But as his fame grew, his reality began to fracture. Success brought billions, but it couldn't buy back his childhood. Neverland Ranch was his attempt to create the playground he never had. But the world began to look at him differently. His changing face, his eccentric lifestyle, the masks, the isolation. He was becoming a ghost in his own life. The media, who once worshipped him, now hunted him. He was the most famous person on earth, and yet, he was the loneliest. The end didn't come in a flash of glory, it came in the quiet of a bedroom, under the weight of a comeback the world was demanding. Michael Jackson didn't die because his heart stopped, he died because the world wouldn't let him rest. He was a man who gave everything to his fans until there was nothing left for himself. We will never see another Michael Jackson. Not because of the talent, but because the world has changed. He was the last of the true global icons. But was he a victim of his own success, or the architect of his own tragedy? Backhand index pointing right, was Michael Jackson the greatest entertainer of all time? Or does his legacy have too many shadows? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.